Hello, I'm Kevin Honeycutt, and welcome to another episode of Raising Digital Kids. Today I want to talk about protecting and nurturing imaginations in the 21st century and what that means. When I was a kid, my grandfather used to buy me sketchbooks and pencils. Now, he bought me these long before I became an artist. He sort of willed me to be an artist. And then he would notice my work. He would hang it on the fridge. He would hold it up and find it amazing even though it was very underwhelming. Okay? He sort of willed me into being an artist. He's just hung in there and kept doing that kind of stuff. And I think it's important that we do that with our kids. Now, that doesn't mean that we have to choose everything they're going to do, but to encourage them to try new things and to grow their imaginations is one of the jobs, I think, of parenthood. Well, these days, how do you do that? In a world where kids are infotained to death, how do we get kids to build things, to design things, to imagine things, to create things, especially when we don't understand the 21st century palette. We might not understand, how do you build on this? How do you build on this? What does that look like? I don't think we have to know. I think we can ask our kids to help us. If you said to your kid who's a gamer and he loves games, is it possible to build a game? Yeah. How could you do that? Could you build a game? I would love to see what that would look like on your computer. And let's say the kid pulls down some free software and it is clunky. Okay, it is clunky and he's a little ham-fisted in his design, so it doesn't matter. We hang that on the fridge. We hang that on the fridge. 3 years later he's a master of Maya and making twice the money you ever made in your lifetime. But you got to start somewhere. You got to sometimes find them amazing even though they're not amazing yet. Find their search for being amazing, if that makes sense at all. So let's say they like art. Okay, so they're on the computer all the time. They're not going to draw with a pencil, or maybe they are, but not very much. They're mostly designing over here. How do you hang that on the fridge? How do you show kids in your house that what they're doing matters? Your kid visits websites and that's all they do? Hey, could you build a website? Is that possible? Yeah, Dad, I built one like last year. Hey, can I see that? Get into that conversation. Talk to them about what they've built, because what you make leads to what you will make, right? If someone says something about it, if no one says something about it, if your creativity, if your workshop is a ghost town, why would you build a second thing? Why would you do that? So as kids are building things, looking at things, getting excited about things, I think we have to encourage them, make something. What are you creating? Playing with other people's thoughts, that's a great thing. It's a great way to get started, but staying there and never building anything, never imagining anything yourself, I think is sort of a sad thing, especially when our kids can do so much with these technologies, right? But I think kids can suffer from something I call learned helplessness, and it's been out there for a long time. But from the time that they're small, maybe first, second, third grade, they start waiting for permission to think. They raise their hand and wait to do the next thing, and something happens. When a kid's a kindergartner, they think a frog can have wheels. They just think anything's possible. I love that way of thinking. And these days, that way of thinking can probably get you a job and keep you a job. But I think when we talk ourselves out of having that next idea, something really, really bad happens. So you think you can reignite that spark in a kid by challenging them, right? They like books. Can they write? Can they write a book? Could they just do a movie? And what could they do that sort of goes with what they like? And start looking for those things. These are amazing palettes that do amazing things if we challenge kids to do those things. Otherwise, they're going to socialize. They're going to use them the way we would, to entertain ourselves. But I challenge you to challenge your kids to create something, to imagine something, to have this dialogue with your kid on a daily basis. Ask them what they've created that they're proud of. What have you found that's interesting? That's one question. What have you created that you're proud of? Can I see that? And no matter how elementary that first step they took is, put it on the fridge. Make sure you value what they're trying to do. Thanks for watching this episode of Raising Digital Kids.